Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another 10 pens currently inked this week. I think let's go through them briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right, we have a Montegrappa, and this is the extra high tech. We have a Magnacarta, and this is the Cambridge. We have an Onoto Longitude. We have a Montegrappa, and this is the Game of Thrones Winter is Here. We have an Onoto Platinum Jubilee, an Onoto British Museum Great Court Vitreous. We have an Onoto Coronation. We have a Santini Libra in the Ambra. We have a Magnacarta Oxford, and we have the Parker 130th Anniversary Duofold. So I think let's take a look at these pens in a little bit more detail. So this is the lovely Montegrappa Extra High Tech. It's not a heavy pen. It's actually, maybe it's not light, but it's made of titanium. The cap here, I believe, is aluminium. So it is a lighter cap, but you'll see here, it does say 1912. It has quite a bit of texture there with those holes, and then you have this titanium cap band where it says Montegrappa there, and then you have a carbon fiber body. So this is a lighter pen. You do have a titanium section there and a little bit of ink there on the section I just wiped off. A number 8 size nib with an ebonite feed. This is a cartridge converter pen, so you can see that there. It's not one of the regular piston filling Montegrappas, but it's actually a good size in my hand, and you can post the cap as well. So this is actually, the cap is extremely light, so you're not going to get any back weightedness from that cap there. So that in itself is a nice pen to write with, and I have that inked up this week. The next pen here is a Magnacarta, and this is the Cambridge. Now, I do have the Cambridge and the Cambridge LE. This is just the Cambridge, but this has a very chunky clip, but also functional clip there. It is a massively chunky clip. In terms of the body, though, you have some very nice patterns there. It is, I believe, 24 karat gold plated over a brass body. And if I unscrew the cap, you'll see a Magnacarta steel nib there. This I got in a broad nib. It is a cartridge converter pen. You can post the cap. It's very long and honestly a bit back weighted. So I wouldn't do it personally, but you can do if you want to. So I have that one inked up as well. I also have the Onoto Longitude, which is a really nice pen in terms of the theme. There was a ship that run aground and in a fleet, actually a British fleet, and it was called the Association. And you'll see here it has a ship's wheel. So a lot of the metal, the coins and the silver and the brass, all recovered from that shipwreck, is made into this pen. So you have the rope there, you have a clip, very large anchor clip, and then you have longitude there, and it says from the Association recovered. Beautiful, beautiful pen. I love writing with this one a lot. Has the latitude and longitude of the shipwreck where all of the material was found, and also an Onoto number 7 size medium nib, 18 karat gold nib. It is a cartridge converter. You can post the cap, but it's very back weighted, so I feel that my hand is being pulled back. Not so much so without the cap. So it's not a pen to post the cap on, but it's a beautiful pen, and I love writing with that pen a lot. Very wet nib, and it just is a beautiful pen to be able to write with. Now the next pen is a bit of a statement, and very glad that I managed to add it to my collection. It's the Game of Thrones pen by Montegrappa, and it's Winter is Here. And you can see there the ice breathing dragon, and that is a functional clip. But the detail in this pen is insane. Look at the little claws there of the dragon. And it's over this celluloid, the shiny lines celluloid there. And I can unscrew the cap. It's a number 6 size Montegrappa nib. It is a little bit of a thinner section. Probably, I wouldn't want to go any thinner than this. I typically do like more thicker sections. But it's a beautiful pen, piston filling mechanism. And you can see there the various walkers and that. It's a lovely pen. And I have to say, I'm glad I was able to add that to my collection. I got it for a really good deal, good price, and so glad that I could add it when I did. And that was a purchase in 2023, just before the March pen show. The next pen is the Onoto, and this is the Platinum Jubilee, and you'll see here it is a pen that commemorates Queen Elizabeth II in the UK, and this was just before she passed away. I was looking for a commemorative pen, and honestly I thought this actually works really well. It's a number 7 size Onoto nib. I got this with a medium nib, and it's a solid silver pen, so it is not a light pen. Now you can get plungers in these. I have a cartridge converter at the moment which is now empty, which just tells you how wet this nib writes. So you can post the cap if you want to. I wouldn't want to do it though, because it really is going to be back weighted, but you can do if you want to. The next pen was a pen that I picked up actually just after the London Pen Show in October last year, 2022, and it's the Onoto British Museum, and it's a Great Court, and this is a wonderful enamelled Vitreous pen, and you can see here it says on the cap band, the British Museum. It's just a stunning pen, very smooth to the touch, lovely pen, and I managed to pick this up from Roya Izod. It's a number 7 size, 18 karat gold nib. It's a fine nib. It is a cartridge converter. You can't post the cap on this. It's not designed to do so. But as you can see there, it is a cartridge converter pen. You could fit a one of the newer Onoto plungers to this, which will hold a lot more ink capacity. I personally still feel, as much as I like plungers or power vacs due to the amount of ink that they will hold, I do still like cartridge converters because they're easy and quick to clean, to change inks, and also if anything goes wrong with a cartridge converter, you can replace it nice and easily yourself without having to send the pen off for repair. The next pen here is, again, another Onoto, and this is the Coronation pen. So this was the pen to commemorate King Charles becoming king, or Prince Charles becoming king. And you can see there the Coronation. Beautiful pen, really, really detailed pen here. I really do love this pen a lot. And I got this at the same time as the Platinum Jubilee. I got these in June this year, 23. It's got a number 7 size Onoto. I got a medium nib on both of these. And again, it came with a plunger, but I've put a cartridge converter on here at the moment. And I I'm loving the cartridge converter. You can post the cap, but again, it's a solid silver pen, so it's going to be quite back weighted, unfortunately, because of the weight of that silver. But it's a beautiful pen, and you can just see the amount of detail here on the pen. Absolutely stunning. So again, another pen that I really am loving in my collection. It's a pen that I've been writing with quite a bit over the summer this year, since I was able to pick these up from Onoto in person. The next pen here is a pen I had inked up last week, I believe, the Santini. This is the Libra in the Ambra. And this is, again, a nice pen. It's an acrylic or resin pen. Santini are a manufacturer, family-run manufacturer in Italy. And you'll see here it says Libra, or Santini there, Libra. It's a nice cracked ice amber material. It comes with their in-house nibs. This is the Flex nib, and this is, I'm just having a look, it is an 18 karat gold nib there, and these are this is a fine nib, but it's a piston filling pen. You can post the cap as well. I do find with this, and I find this with some pens, not all pens, but just a handful of pens in my collection, where the pen will eventually start to dry out, and it does have a bit of like an airlock mechanism, or an airlock in the feed, and there isn't really any holes on the back of the feed here to really let the air in. And I think that's what causes the airlock, where you then find the pen writing dry, and then you have to twist the piston knob just to push a bit more ink out of the nib and feed. And it's the only downside, I would say, with these Santinis. I've got two of them, and I have the same problem with both of them. It's not a major issue. I've had it with other pens. I've had it with stipulars. I'm trying to think. I've had it. Have I had it with some ASCs? I think I might have done as well. Yeah, I have actually. So it will happen on a lot of pens, but it normally is caused by an issue with the air interchange. So when you're writing, the capillary action is trying to suck air into the feed, and that displaces the ink and pushes the ink out. So if it can't bring in air, then that will cause a bit of a blockage in terms of reducing the ink flow. The next pen here is the Magnacarta, and this is the Oxford. I love this honeycomb. I actually picked this up, and the Cambridge, right in the smack bang in the center of the pandemic, where everybody was locked down, and I didn't think, I thought it was going to take months for it to arrive, but I think it took like 4 days from India. I was absolutely stunned. And since then, I've met Hiran in person, and hopefully I'll meet him again at a pen show. That he has a load of really nice pens made, and I would like to pick up some more pens from him at some point in the future. So I will have to check him out if he does come again to the London pen show in the UK. This has a number 6 size steel nib, and it's a Magnacarta nib. It's a medium nib. It's a cartridge converter. You can't really post, you can post the cap, but it's not, I'd say it's not really been designed to post. It will post slightly, but it will not grip very heavily onto the back of the pen. And then the last pen here is the Parker Duofold. It's the 130th anniversary. I love the gold plated clip here. Sorry, the cap. Well, and the clip as well. Standard fluted feathered clip from Parker. And also the blue body here, which has a map of the world as well. and George Parker's signature there as well. So this is a nice pen, not a cheap pen, but I managed to get it at auction for a pretty good price. It has a number 6 size Parker 130th anniversary nib there, and this is a fine nib. It's a cartridge converter pen. You can post the cap. It's a little bit back weighted, I would say, mostly because of the metal end cap here. It's a cartridge converter. You do also have this lovely lapis lazuli stone there in the cap finial as well. Comes in a massively large suitcase as well. But it's a beautiful pen, and I have to say, Parker did a really good job on that pen. It definitely is shorter than a lot of my other pens, but doesn't bother me. I have pens of varying sizes and lengths and girths, and that doesn't really bother me too much. So there you have it. That's my 10 pens currently inked for this week. I think let's now go and do a writing sample. So the first pen here is the Montegrappa, and this is the extra high tech. So we'll do an ink swatch, and this is a really nice ink that I have in here. I do like it quite a bit. It's been growing on me a lot lately. So this is the Montegrappa extra high tech, and this is a medium. I'm just looking at it's an 18 karat gold. Where's the letter? Yeah, it's a medium 18 karat gold nib for Montegrappa, and then the ink in here is KWZ, and it's cappuccino, which is a lovely brown ink, and it's one that's been growing on me a lot lately. You may have seen some of my photos with pens and coffee on Instagram, and I've just been photographing a lot of coffee lately, but that is a lovely coloured ink to match with some of those. The next pen is the Magnacarta, and this is the Cambridge. So we'll do an ink swatch, and this is a blue ink, and I always want to think that this ink should be a lot lighter. So this is the Magnacarta Cambridge, and this is a broad nib on this one, and it's a steel nib, in-house nib from Magnacarta, and then the ink in here is KWZ, and it's Hawaii blue, and I do find that this is, in a lot of pens, more of a blue black, or a really dark blue. I kind of think it wants to be a turquoise ink, or a very light cerulean blue. The next pen inked up is the Onoto Longitude, and we'll do an ink swatch here, and you'll see here this is much more of really what I would have thought Hawaii blue would have looked like. So this is the Onoto, and it's the Longitude, and it's a medium, and it's an 18 karat gold nib from Onoto. It's a Bock nib, and then the ink in here is Pelican Edelstein Topaz, which really is a lovely cerulean blue for me, almost turquoisey coloured ink, I would say. Really nice. The next pen is the Montegrappa Game of Thrones Winter is Here. So we'll do an ink swatch here, and I always ink this up with a grey ink. Maybe I will change that at some point, but for now it's still grey. So this is the Montegrappa Game of Thrones. Winter is here. And it's a medium, and it's an 18-karat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey. But that, to me, is just a perfect grey ink for me. I do like that colour a lot. The next pen here inked up is the Onoto Platinum Jubilee. Now we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a very wet nib and a very wet ink as well. So this is the Onoto Platinum Jubilee. And it's a medium, and it's an 18-karat gold nib. And the ink in here is Diamine Majestic Purple, which for me is a really nice purple, my favourite purple. And the Queen Elizabeth II, certainly around the Platinum Jubilee, it was all purple, so I decided to ink that up. The next pen is the Onoto, and this is the British Museum Great Court. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is another nice turquoisey cerulean blue coloured ink. So this is the Onoto British Museum Actually, it's museum, and it's a great court, and it's a fine, and it's an 18-karat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Venustus Aqua di Spargi, which is a very nice colour. Venustus is an Italian company. In the UK, you can get their inks from Stonecott Fine Writing Supplies. I'm not so sure in Europe or in the US, but I know certainly you can get them from Stonecott Fine Writing Supplies. The next pen inked up is the Onoto Coronation pen. And we'll do an ink swatch. Again, another very wet writing nib. I do like how wet these Onoto medium nibs are. They are Bock nibs, but they are just super wet. So this is the Onoto Coronation. And it's a medium, and it's an 18-karat gold nib. And then the ink in here is... It's a good question. I'm just trying to think. Oh, it is actually, strangely enough, KWZ Hawaii Blue. So you've got Hawaii Blue here, and then you've got Hawaii Blue here. So it'll be interesting to see when that dries. I don't think it's going to dry as dark as that, but it will certainly not be as light as the Venustus Aqua di Spargi. The next pen inked up is the Santini Libra in the Ambra. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And this is a nice pen for writing. So this is the Santini Libra in the Ambra. And it's got a fine nib, and it says an 18-karat gold nib. And then the ink in here is J. Herbin Ambra de Burmanie, and I find it is very dark in this pen compared to other pens where it's very light of an ink color. The next pen inked up is the Magnacarta, and this is the Oxford. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is it's a medium nib, but it writes, I'd say, a little bit more on the finer side. So this is the Magnacarta Oxford. It's a medium, and it's a still in-house nib from Magnacarta. And then the ink in here is Diamine Oxblood. But I still find it's quite a wet pen. I think if it was a medium nib or a broad nib, it would be a lot wetter. And certainly this one, I'd say, is a bit more wetter. And then the last pen inked up here is the Parker Duofold 130th anniversary. So we'll do an ink swatch on this one. And I know this is getting very low on ink. So this is the Parker Duofold 130th anniversary. And it's a fine, yeah, it is, and it's an 18 karat gold nib. And can I get enough ink out of this pen to write the last line? It's the ink in here today is Lamy Turquoise. Oh, and it's getting low. It really is just about to run out. So I just managed to finish the word. So I think let's now take another look at these pens inked up one more time. So we have a Montegrappa Extra High Tech in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with KWZ Cappuccino. We have a Magnacarta Cambridge in a broad steel nib inked up with KWZ Hawaii Blue. We have an Onoto Longitude in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Pelican Edelstein Topaz. We have a Montegrappa Game of Thrones Winter is Here in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have an Onoto Platinum Jubilee in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Majestic Purple. We have an Onoto British Museum Great Court in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Venustus, and this is Aqua di Spargi. We have an Onoto Coronation in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with KWZ Hawaii Blue, and you'll see the two blues here are very different. We have a Santini Libra Ambra in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with J. Herbin Ambra de Burmanie. We have a Magnacarta Oxford in a medium steel nib inked up with Diamine Oxblood. And we have a Parker Duofold 130th anniversary in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Lamy Turquoise. So there you have it. That's my current ink pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.